Hello, welcome back. I'm the Oddnight Builder. It's middle of March, mustache March that is, and I'm going to start working on my trailer. This one behind me. It's a little jacked up. Let me show you how. This fender, banged up pretty bad. The tires towed out on both sides. This is usually indicative of overloading of the trailer. The trailer itself is only rated for just about a ton. Unfortunately, it was overloaded. So, means new axle, new tires, new lighting. FYI, lighting on trailers, not exactly UV proof. So you're going to want them replaced every couple years and make sure that they're not missing or cracked or anything like that, because they will fall off and it's a ticket. Case in point. Here is the brand new axle and tires. Thank you, Tractor Supply, and your very decent coupon twice a year. Safety is important. So let me show you two things I did to try to be safe, because you know what? I've been almost killed by a van falling on me and various other things falling on me. I don't need to die today. I extended the front trailer jack as far as it'll go. It actually misses the ground by a ½ inch, but whatever, it's up in the air. And it's the same height as the jacks over here. In the back, I took 3 cinder blocks and a fence post that we had. Now, the reason I have the fence posts is that if this decides to drop, these, if they're staying by themselves, will take the force coming down and then have a good possibility of falling over. So at least this way they won't fall over. Could they fall that way? Yeah, but you know what? You gotta try, right? And it looks like it's going to work. Sweet, now I don't have to buy new ones. So whenever you replace an axle, you always want to replace the U-bolts. The pieces you can keep, if they're in decent shape, would be the leaf springs, this little connection plate for the U-bolts, and that's about it. Any connecting bolts like this, it's always a good idea just to replace them. They also have some plastic sleeves in here. These are also a good idea to replace. Mine aren't too bad, so I'm not going to spend the $9 to replace them. Oh yeah, that's rusted on good. Okay, so since I couldn't take it off with the impact wrench, I'm going to have to take it off with a reciprocating saw with a metal blade. I could probably do the springs first, but yeah, whatever, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's gonna get loud though. Oh, bent it up good. Good Lord. Huzzah! Another method to cut through stuff besides a reciprocating saw, grinder. Yeah, this is probably going to be faster, but it throws out a lot of sparks. So if you don't have any kind of protective gear like a heavy flannel shirt and some heavy gloves and maybe a face shield, depending how bad the sparks are, it's really not advisable. Hammer out and repeat 3 more times. Fortunately, the bolt didn't want to come out, so I just went out and bought new shackles and I grinded off to one side. I cut this here. When I cut the bolt off, this is how the axle landed, just as I had planned it. See, it was a good thing I put those there. There we go. Come on. Woohoo! Now that I've got that piece off, I'm going to put some never sees on the bottom of the bolt so it doesn't rust on there again. And I'm also going to put it on the threads. I could try putting on a nut and it'll go, but it'll waste most of it on the upper part of the threads that don't really matter. To be tightened later. Okay, now that that's done, I can remove and replace the axle. And, well, first of all, kind of have to do something else first. Every little boy and girl all around. Now it's time to tighten up the bolts and nuts on the shackles. Ain't going anywhere now. It will flex though, of course. Just a little protecting on these. Underneath each one of these little feet here on the spring, there's the bolt that actually connects all the leaf spring pieces together. So there's a hole on the bottom of this seat and you just pop it right in place. Now, unfortunately on this side, actually it has to come over like a 1/4 inch, but that's how it works. Now is when you attach the axle to the leaf springs with the U-bolts. Just a hint of never sees. Just starting these on. Now you see that little hole in the center? That's for the bottom of that connecting bolt that went through the leaf springs. That ain't coming off now. Now that I have both sides on, it's time to put on the wheels. Having the lug nuts helps. Remember, always go into a star pattern, so like that, like you're drawing a star. It does even distribution of the tightness and ensures that it'll go on. Now for the fun part. A little too heavy on that grease. This is the finished product of the axle. Turned out pretty well. This is the old axle. It's a little hard to tell, but it's going this way. The new one goes this way. So it was definitely pushed the other direction by being overloaded. So now it's time to do the lights. This piece of crap light is broken. Had a bee's nest in it one time. I'm replacing it with this LED lamp. Has a little light underneath there for the license plate. So it'll look like that. The trailer wiring leaves a lot to be desired. It looks like it's been modified many times over the years. There's even Nice ground screw here. Definitely going to reuse that. As far as the wiring itself, it haphazardly goes all over the place, which means pieces like this end up broken just because of location. So I have an idea. What I'm going to do is run it along one of these spars here, up in here, and then down the center to about here-ish. Connect it to this spar here, and then run it underneath with some clips and tie it into the wiring. I'm using quick disconnects because when these lights eventually fail or break, I can just do these pigtails again and I don't have to rewire the entire trailer. Also, be sure to put heat shrink on any of your connections. This will help it last a little longer and protect it from the elements. I put a terminal block down here to bring in the wiring from the front, the left and the right, and also the lights back here had to be connected because the trailer is over 80 inches. So I put all this together back here and ran it to this terminal block. I'll probably cover this up with something, but this was the easiest way, instead of having a whole bunch of connectors, of connecting everything together.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown.
Well, that took 5 ever. The ultimate test will be hooking up to the truck, making sure the lights work, which it should. Everything's nice, clean connections. There's no reason why it shouldn't work outside of the truck, maybe having bad connections. I'm going to load it up and haul stuff to the dump. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Till next odd night, or odd weekend in this case, I'm the Oddnight Builder.